Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Dennis. And we got a little something different this week. A little bit of news going on, a little bit of Mopar news, as we like to say. Very fascinating Mopar news. And this kind of affects a lot of us, and there's a lot of weirdness that's going on with this. This week, we found out that Stellantis is not going to be participating in the new car automotive show circuit. So kind of weird because this is how you promote your new cars. I mean, honestly, this is the biggest way the cars get promoted. And you can touch them, feel them, see them all together. And it's just very odd that they're not going to be attending. And it's so I have an article here the from the Chicago Sun-Times, which is a pretty big newspaper. And it goes on here saying Stellantis brands, Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, and others are skipping Chicago Auto Show. That's the headline. The subheadline, the car show, which considers itself the nation's largest, is trying to pull together a last-minute arrangement with local dealerships to still exhibit some of the brand's vehicles. Yeah, I'll give you a little spoiler. Don't think it's going to happen. So let's find out why this happened. Automaker Stellantis has pulled out of the Chicago Auto Show, marking a potential blow to the 116-year-old car show, which organizers say is the nation's largest, and the end of its popular Camp Jeep test track. I think I have a picture of that. It's right over here. It is. This is the Camp Jeep test track. This is really cool. We'll get into that a little later. So, the company said in a statement that it is done as a cost savings move to mitigate the impact of challenging U.S. automotive market. It will consider participating in future auto shows on a case-by-case basis and focus on opportunities for consumers to experience our vehicles firsthand. Okay, so much in this one paragraph. Challenging market. It's the market they help create by allowing dealers to mark up anything with a Hemi in it at least 20 grand. And trying to sell stuff over sticker. You did nothing to control your dealers. You made people that paid that extra money, they got killed because the depreciation set in, and they will never recoup their money from that unless you bought one of the really weird, one of the real rare last call cars. You're never recovering that. That's on you. That's on you, Stellantis. Seriously, it's on you. But that's just the thin veiled excuse. There's a lot of excuses in this article. It's quite impressive. And considering on a case by case, that means they're never going to do it because that case by case in corporate talk means they're not ever doing it again. And opportunities for consumers to experience our vehicles firsthand. I don't even know what that means. That is just a weird statement by Stellantis. This means Cars fans won't likely see Stellantis brands including Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat at McCormick Place from February 10th to 19th, unless the show pulls together a last-minute arrangement from local dealerships. Yeah. Fiat's still in America? I didn't know that. General Motors and Ford said Thursday they are planning to attend the Chicago Auto Show. Yes, because they're an American manufacturer that has an American base, and their headquarters are in America, North America. This is their home territory. Stellantis' home territory is Europe. Stellantis canceled its appearance at the Chicago Auto Show shortly before the holidays, according to the Chicago Automobile Trade Association, which puts on the yearly show. The company said it hasn't said if it will miss next year's show. Association spokesman Mark Bilek said. The Chicago is not the only location which passed over by Stellantis. It announced October that it would be pulling out of the massive consumer tech convention CES in Las Vegas, which starts Tuesday, citing the UAW worker strike. Okay, so there's a lot of nonsense here, a lot of lies. First of all, the UAW strike was September, and it was sporadic. It wasn't the whole company shut down. They shut down one this or one that. It was very specific. Uh, that has nothing to do with going to new car shows. Has nothing to do with CES because that's where your engineers stuff go. Your UAW workers aren't making things for CES. I I yeah, you're supposed to be an electric car company. You're not going to CES. That's telling me a lot. Yeah, and if they haven't committed to next year, they're not coming. I mean, how blatantly do we have to see this? They are truly trying to unwind. And remember, Stellantis has manufacturing in Mexico and South America. They are not shy to shut down American plants because American workers are very expensive, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Last year, it dropped out of the LA Auto Show in Los Angeles and the Specialty Equipment Market Association convention in Las Vegas because of the UAW strike, which targeted Stellantis, Ford, and GM. Oh, Ford and GM were able to go. Who? Why not them? When Stellantis announced this week it would not attend next month's Canadian International Auto Show in Canada, local dealerships came together to fund stalls, according to Automotive News Canada. That doesn't sound like displays. It just sounds like, they may have a car there, whatever they make. They can bring a Durango for Dodge because that's all that's left, right? The Durango and the Hornet. The Chicago Automotive Trade Association is trying to scrape together a similar deal. We have been working with the local dealers since they try and craft some sort of participation from Stellantis brands at the show, Bilex said in an email, but nothing has been agreed upon. Yeah, I bet they didn't respond to his email. We never say never, he said. We have a lot of space and can be fairly accommodating all the way up until the move-in date for the show, which starts in early February. Stellantis brand dealers in Chicago are disappointed, but understand it was a corporate decision based on a labor stoppage over the summer. Over the summer. Like 6 months ago. Said J.C. Phelan, owner of Jack Phelan Chrysler Jeep Ram in Countryside and chairman of the Chicago Automotive Trade Association. Well, he has to tote the corporate line, being that he has a lot to lose. He doesn't sound like he's going to be playing ball with the auto show. So, yeah, best of luck, Mr. Bialek. He hopes dealers will pull together to host a display, but he admits it's a long shot. There's not a structure to get it started. We're not on email chain. It's not something I'm sure will get done in such a short time, he said. Of course, because he knows it's not happening. He's a giant dealer in in Chicago. Phelan expects Stellantis to return to auto shows next year because the results of the show are too strong to our dealers. Wow. Really toting the line. The company's popular Camp Jeep test track, which featured a steep hill, has given more than 600,000 rides to its auto show attendants over the years, he said. I don't know. So far, I'm not convinced. What do you think out there? Drop a comment on this because this is not sounding like a company that's really super committed to the U.S. market because they didn't say about pulling out of European shows or Asian, just North American shows. I find it very fascinating. I haven't found any articles about them saying no, we won't be in Paris or we won't be in Geneva. No, it's just been North American stuff, or I think was it the other one's Milan? Yeah, I haven't heard no. Hmm. So Stellantis struggles. Stellantis formed through the 2021 merger of Fiat Chrysler and PSA Peugeot of France, was trimming its business operations around Chicago even before the UAW strike. So, yeah, the company stopped operations in February 2023 at the Belvedere plant just east of Rockford, where it laid off some 1,350 workers that have been making Jeep Cherokees, the Belvedere plant, which has been around forever. Oh, well. After some nudging by President Joe Biden, Stellantis said it would reopen the plant and add another 1,000 jobs at an adjacent battery facility. Yeah, they could say whatever they want. Doubt it. Seriously, doubt it at this point. But Stellantis is still struggling. Well, you didn't say anything in that first two paragraphs. Say they're doing well. The company announced late last year, it would cut production shifts at 2 U.S. plants in an effort to reduce SUV production to meet emission standards. So that means you better, if you want a Durango, you better run out and get one because that's the only SUV they have. It's the Durango. And they are, they're going to use any excuse to stop making Dodges. Durango is a Dodge, and yeah, they didn't say they're going to be stopping making pickup trucks. They're going to stop making SUVs, which is the Durango. The move could possibly lay off 3,500 workers, according to Automotive News Canada. The automaker, in its third quarter earnings call, said it would continue to cost cut following UAW's 6-week campaign of coordinated strikes. The strikes ended in late October after the union won major salary increases, among other benefits. All right, so I'm going to skip over now to the UAW people. Well, actually, no. First, I'm going to go over, and this is why this is such a bigger deal. And if you're liking this in any way, shape, or form of learning something, I ain't liking because nothing to like about this. It's horrible. You get learning anything, hit that like button, crush it. If you want to hear a little more about older cars or a little bit more news like this, because I mix it up, hit that subscribe. And also you can share because sharing is free. It's free on YouTube. It's good stuff. All right, so yeah, I'm only gonna look at the headline, and Stellantis sits out Super Bowl. Why the Jeep owner won't be back? Yeah. So this is one of their major selling. I mean, this is one of their major ad campaigns is around the Super Bowl. They've been pushing this for over a decade now. The Super Bowl was always their big thing, and now they're not going to do a Super Bowl ad. General Motors sitting out the game because I don't think that General Motors has a lot to kind of talk about, and they've also are struggling massively. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of good signs here if you're a fan of modern Dodge or Chryslers, because Chrysler's down to a minivan now. Hmm, yeah. Oh, and Dennis, you'd say, oh, but they're coming out with this. Oh, this Banshee. Okay, it's been 2 years. Where is it? Where is it? It's 2 years. There are no prototypes on the street. There's been no spy photos, but nothing. I saw one thing. It was a structure, kind of a frame of a car. It looked like you put an inline six in it. But where's this car at the fake exhaust with these ridiculous plaid number horsepower? Where is it? It's 2 years already. It's still not out. By contrast, this car, the Viper, was made in like less than 18 months from going to show car circuit to your showroom. And they didn't make a lot the first year, but they made them. I remember seeing this car at the New York Auto Show, and everybody was like, this car needs to be built just because. No one was running over to this thing going, yeah, you really need to build. No, you don't. No, don't care. Just don't care. I don't need a fake exhaust sound. So yeah, this is as we call in computer world, vaporware. And yeah, it's vaporware. Until I actually see a prototype running around the street, I don't believe it's going to happen. I really don't. Not the way they're acting. They want to make small electric things over in Europe because they've already closed down the Jeep Renegade line, Fiat 500 line XL. It's been closed down to convert it to some sort of electric vehicles that honestly no one wants. If you don't believe me, just go look at any lot that has electric cars on it, and just outside of the fashion statement Tesla, and just see how they you can even put a mark on one of the cars and just go back week after week and see it sitting there. Yeah, not a good thing. So what about those UAW members? Oh yeah, remember they bent them over and they flexed, and they got this incredible pay raise. Yeah, guys. UAW members at Stellantis start seeing $50,000 buyouts offers for 2024. UAW represented employees at Stellantis already begun receiving buyout offers under the company's 2024 retirement incentive program. The 2023 contract agreement between UAW and Stellantis includes a pre-tax $50,000 lump sum retirement incentive in 2024. Another lump sum deal will be offered in late 2026. That's quite odd. Imagine that. Eligible employees can accept the offer anytime from between now and December 31st, according to Jody Tinson, a Stellantis spokesperson. Buyout offers are being made to UAW workers who are at least age 60 and have 10 years of service, she said, as well as others under different eligibility criteria. So not just over 60, but other people. What is that criteria? I mean, I didn't read it. I'm not looking much into it, but trust me, they will find a way to use this. Like if they're closing down plants, I imagine they can use this to go, well, we're retiring you. You've been if they had the time, and I can't imagine that Stellantis, would use this to try to get rid of people. Hmm. The exact date of when production and skilled trade employees will retire will vary. The lump sum payment is contingent on the employee leaving the job and a date approved by the management, Tinson said. Based on operational needs, he said, an employee separation date may be extended. Doubt that. UAW noted on its online highlights of the contract that the union was successfully negotiating enterprise-wide buyout offers for our legacy members. The $50,000 incentive for short taxes, so it's taxable, will be applied to an unlimited number of eligible production and skilled trade members. So unlimited. So they could fire. This is basically what this is. Fire as many people as they need and give them 50 grand pre-tax as a parting gift. Say, well, thanks for your service. Have a nice day. And packages will be offered in 24 and 26. So, and it keeps on going on and on, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this is not boding well for if you are an employee, a UAW employee of Stellantis. I would be very nervous. So are you? Stellantis, like I said, European company, have manufacturing in Mexico. And they could add more plants in Mexico where they don't have to pay people $50 an hour, or what it was equivalent $100,000, $120,000 a year, some crazy amount of money to be an employee. They don't. And yeah, and remember they're a European company. Let's also remember that. I'm gonna have to remember that fact. Yeah, and now so the part that is so sad to me is that over the years, Chrysler Corporation, when it was Chrysler, had the coolest displays. This is 62 when they had that with the horrible design, but still, this is the whole display with the giant Dodge and all very modernistic. This is early 60s. That's pretty modern. Uh, that's really cool. Then you had the original Charger concept. See, Charger. This is 1964, and look how futuristic it was. They took what they had and they made like a cool looking car. And then of course you got to the muscle car, and here's the Plymouth Rapid Transit System. All three of these cars are gone for auction. But this is when Chrysler was in its heyday. Look, 1970, Sublime Street, a Sublime. I think that's a Super B. Yeah, it's a Super B. And a cutout of a big block. Looks like a 440, maybe a 446 pack. Cut out on the stand. Charger. Look, over here. There's a race, a Daytona. Right over here, there's a Daytona. And a Dart GT. Over there is probably a Coronet. But look at this. This was when they were an American manufacturer. This is car shows. This is what they're not going to participate anymore with. Here we go, another rapid transit car, GTX, 1970. Look at, I mean, just the absolute funnest thing. Ah, yes, I believe this is the 71 CUDA rapid transit car. Yep, just sold for $2 million. And of course, our wonderful Jeep experience, that is no longer going to happen. Great. So if you've stayed to this point, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Uh, once again, if you liked it, if you learned something, hey, hit like. If you want to see a little more content on old cars, a little bit of news, hit the subscribe button. And as always, you can share for free. And remember, if you have an old car or even a cool car, Just remember to take it out because you'll make someone's day. It may even be your own. I'll catch you down the road.